The object of Taxi Chronicles is to allow real riders with real stories, share their experience and enhance your life. So sit back and enjoy the journey. Morning, morning, morning. Yes, we're back with another rider, another episode. Today we're honoured to have Joe in the house. Joe is a musician. His family own a bakery, but he's decided to steer away from the bacon, the croissants and the naughty delights.
Yeah.
But he's going to stick with his music. So nice to have you here today, Joe.
Hey, yo, man. Nice to be here.
Okay. Why music and what motivates you about music?
I mean, music is kind of just like run in my family. Like for a long time, like my uncle was just like, I mean, my uncle was very inspiring to me because he's like a crazy, just talented like musician. But he started off kind of like classical and that, but then he just ended up doing bare jazz. And now, like, I mean, growing up listening to him and like hearing records that he'd play me, and then my dad as well. I mean, just I don't even know where to start, to be honest. Like, my whole family just brought me up on really like loads of music, so I've always kind of just loved it. I feel like as a human it's kind of impossible to not love music in some type of way, because it's going to resonate with, I haven't met anyone who hasn't resonated with just some type of music. It doesn't matter what genre, just, you know what I mean. But yeah, I do it because I just love it. The energy I get from doing it, just the like, I don't know, just like being in the moment, just there's not really anything that like.
How do you feel when you're in that moment?
I don't, you know what, I can't even, I'm so in the zone, like I can't even describe it. It's just like, it's just a different feeling. Like you don't get it doing not anything I've done, you don't get it doing anything else. I used to play basketball a lot when I was younger, and I would like play for my school team and stuff. And in London, obviously, it's not really as big than it is in like the States. But even when you had like crowds and stuff, like it wasn't. You don't get the same feeling as you do on a stage. Like on stage, it's just the whole moment is on you. Like you're controlling everything, and especially like the kind of music that we do. It's just like, so we all just kind of improvise. Everything we do is just improvised. We just pull up to the set and then we don't even know how it's gonna go. But yeah, I'm a drummer, so like I kind of just kick the rhythm and then yeah.
Okay. So how long have you been playing the drums for then?
That's a good question. I don't know. To be honest, I just started quite late. I started I was maybe like 14.
How old are you now?
I'm 21 now.
Okay.
And when I started, it was because I went to a school in Highbury, which is like North London where I live, and they were very like adamant on making all the students play an instrument. So they kind of trapped me on the viola, which is like the bigger version of the violin, and I was kind of rubbish. I only gave it like 2 weeks, but I didn't really like it. And
State school?
It was. It was. Yeah, I mean, it came up pretty well, like, because it was really, really bad kind of before I joined, and then they kind of fixed it up and just kind of, I don't know, like, it was just, I just came and it was good. And then, yeah, they kind of, I did the viola thing and it wasn't really me. I wasn't really resonating with it. I didn't really understand what I was doing. And then next thing you know, I met like the guy who taught drums there, and he like just kind of gave us a whole, I don't know, like speech, or like just gave us like a whole show of like how the drums work and everything. Just from that moment, just hearing the drums like raw, and just like like my teacher as well, he was just like super like inspiring, like the way he presented it, like more than any of the other teachers. There was just so much energy behind it, which just seemed way more enticing to me than like, I don't know, just playing. Not that there's nothing wrong with any other instrument, but just all the other instruments seem like a lot more boring, which I don't believe now, but at the time that's how it came across. And yeah, I just started playing then, and I ended up like, from young, they were like, the school was really like, we were sponsored by there was like this music foundation, I can't remember, but it was like to support kind of like young musicians and stuff, and that allowed me and a few of my like friends from that school to go on like tour. We played in Italy for I think we went away for like a week or two, like playing gigs in Italy when I was like, I think I was like year 8 or something. And then like year 9 I went to like Spain, I think, something like that. It was just bare good. You just got bare like exposure, and just yeah, like, you just got to like see how everything works.
So
basically.
you play the drums,
yeah,
and you freestyle every time.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's just improvised, like, yeah.
And you have a set of. See your uncle. What kind of instruments did he play?
Well, my uncle is actually a pianist or a keys player, but he also plays cello. But the way he plays cello is not like just like the fundamental way. He can do that, but he plays a lot more. Just, I don't know. He experiments with it. He's not like just like your standard musician. He's like a genius in my opinion, at least, and the way that he gets around that. But it's like the way that he's just, I mean, he can play a bit of everything, but the way that he plays everything is so different to like anything I'd heard before, being so young, that it just really like caught my attention, and I kind of just saw it and I was like, oh, I'd love to be able to do stuff like that one day.
So you've been in this business 7 years.
Yeah,
You've travelled.
Yeah.
You've been in school.
Yeah.
You're dedicated. You're
Yeah.
doing your own thing now. Are
Yeah.
you doing a degree in music or?
No, well, I was kind of thinking about it. Like, what actually ended up happening is when I finished like my GCSEs, I was into like art, actually like drawing and painting and stuff. Then the music, obviously, I was really into basketball, and I was also like quite into like science, like physics. So I tried to like do all of that at once, but none of the places that I kind of wanted to go to like let me do that because I had like schedule. And yeah, I ended up just doing an art course for like a year, and that year was like good. Like I did some nice art, I did some nice drawings, whatever, but it was just a bit all over the place. And I'd seen some of my friends at this music college doing their thing, and it looked like a really good time, and it looked a bit more organized and a bit more like I kind of understood what was going on, and I just felt like I was missing out. So I left my art course and I retook a year, so I did year 12 again. And I did music. So what ended up happening is when I finally finished my year 13 doing music, lockdown had just happened, or COVID had just happened. So originally I was thinking, I was going to take like a gap year or something to just go gigging and just jam and meet people and that, and didn't really happen basically because obviously all the restrictions and that. So I never took the gap year. I kind of just was just off, and then I kind of just had to, because the bakery was kind of struggling, because, you know, a lot of family businesses were struggling at the time. I had to just go and fill in and just start working there. And yeah, I didn't really get the gap year, and I didn't really get to think about the uni thing. But I'd always kind of thought, do I really need to go to uni when I'm already surrounded by such like talented people who know like everyone? Like, yeah, you can kind of get access to anyone you want in the circle that I'm in.
You've got a good network.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's fair enough comment.
Yeah.
I've got quite a lot of musicians I've interviewed. You probably want to listen to their
definitely
history of what they've done, and
Yeah.
they're a lot older.
Yeah.
And they talk about the live band industry and
Yeah.
all those things that you love. Where can people find you if they want to hear your music? On social media? Are you on social media?
Yeah. So my Instagram is Joe_Kin, which is KIN, which honestly is probably bound to change at some point. I've just had that from when I was young. But the latest thing I've dropped is with my friend Arthur. We did a tune with Disclosure, who are like big production guys, like producers. They make like a lot of dance music. We made a jungle tune sampling one of my friends, Kamal Williams. He had a tune off of his latest album, which was called Early Prayer, and me and Arthur were just in the studio and heard it on the day it dropped, and we're like, yo, we gotta make something with this. And next thing you know, that tune kind of just took off, and loads of people started hitting us up about it. And then Disclosure said they wanted to release it, and we were like, cool, so we did that. And that's the only tune I've actually got like out on like Spotify or Apple Music or anything like right now. It's called Recognize. It's on the latest Disclosure DJ Kicks project. I've got a couple bits on SoundCloud, but yeah, nothing too crazy. But if you want to hear anything, that's probably the only tune I got, really.
Okay, that's good. And well, people can always DM you on your IG.
Yeah, of course.
What have you learnt that you wish you knew when you had started?
Honestly, like right now, as just a drummer alone, I've kind of learned. Well, I've learned that it's very important to like get the technical bits down. Even though sometimes it might not be like, you know, the most fun thing to just sit there and do the same thing over and over again. It's like really important because it will catch up to you if you don't do that. And I noticed that a few years ago, and I've just been working on it since. And then also just not to really, care about like, what other people are doing, just focus on yourself. I've always kind of been that way, but like just even more, like since I've been doing the music thing and since more opportunities have been presenting themselves, like even more I can just like think like if you just focus on your own thing and you're doing something well, like people will notice you. You don't have to really like go out of your way to, no, obviously you're gonna have to go out your way to make things happen, but also there'll be a bit of just things just naturally happening because people hear about you or whatever. So yeah, just always just keep moving and just focusing on like whatever you're doing basically.
If you had to give some advice to a younger person who's coming up into the industry, what would you say?
Yeah, well, me myself, I've always just, it's just about having fun, just having a good time. Obviously, there's money and stuff, and there's sides of it, you don't want to get taken advantage of and all of that stuff. But really, like, especially when you're young, just have fun, do what you want to do. Don't, obviously, you might have to do a few gigs that like you might not be too excited about, but to be honest, I've kind of just avoided anything I haven't really wanted to do, and I've just done everything that I've wanted to do. So I've just been having a really good time, basically. But yeah, I just say, just enjoy yourself, do whatever you want to do.
Okay, that's good. Well, we're coming to the end of the journey. You've been a great guest.
Thank you.
Remind people where we can find you.
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram. It's Joe_Kin, Kin. Yeah, you can find me on Spotify and Apple Music as, well, it just says Joe, to be honest, but it's on the latest Disclosure DJ Kicks album. Tune's called Recognize, and it's a jungle tune, and yeah, if you like it, let me know.
Okay. Well, thanks a lot for that, and we wish you
worries.
well.
Yeah, you too, man. Thank you.
We hope that episode enhanced your life. We post an interview every day, as well as vlogging on our social media channels. Don't forget to subscribe to get our latest episode.